With the release of Trailblazers, there was one challenge in particular on everybody's mind, the Inferno. Who will complete it first, and how long will it take? In the end, I was the first one to do it and finished during the third day. It wasn't easy. I put my mind and body through a lot of stress to get it done first. At one point being awake for 26 hours straight. This is my journey, and achieving the first Inferno Cape in Trailblazers. First, let's talk about planning. To be honest, I could only plan so much until I knew what the relics were, and with my lack of Iron Man experience, planning out my early game route was a bit overwhelming. I ended up practicing the low-level Zuck method for the Inferno in case I need it, and making sure I know how to off-tick sets without Blowpipe or Chinchompas in case I decide not to get them before attempting it. Beyond that, pretty much winged it. As for relics, the reveal from the tier 3 relics made the biggest difference in my strategy. Originally, I was considering stacking sets of Zuck to be able to do a lower level cape. This is a low level Inferno Cape method where if you spawn 8 mages during the Zuck fight and keep them all alive, Zuck cannot spawn any more mages or rangers. For accounts with very low DPS, this method is crucial. However, tier 3 relics were far stronger than what I expected, so I knew I wouldn't need to use this method. For my relic choices, I knew exactly what I wanted once they were released. Skilling Prodigy would help me progress through the early game much faster. Last Recall seemed to have the most utility of all the teleport perks. Quickshot Relic was an easy choice for Inferno, with range being the main DPS. I plan to do Inferno soon after getting the tier 3 relic, so the other 3 relics didn't matter too much. Though I did end up unlocking the 4th relic, the XP boost is all I needed from that tier, so I chose Clue Relic for fun. And I regret it in hindsight. Not gonna lie. As for regions, I knew my regions right away, but was unsure on the order I wanted to do them in. I definitely needed Ancients to rush Inferno, otherwise I would have no way of healing between waves, other than potentially waiting 30 minutes between waves. This means Desert had to be unlocked first or second. I wasn't sure if I would be doing Inferno before unlocking my second area at first, but after a while, I figured I would end up unlocking the second area before being Inferno ready, so I chose Tianwen first to get Zalcano and Gauntlet as a huge boost to my early game. Zalcano can be done at an early level and gave me a ton of ores and bars for easy access to smithing XP and range training with steel knives thanks to a lucky steel bar drop. Gauntlet was very beneficial at a low level. The max hit of a staff is not affected by your magic level, so you have the same max hit at level 1 magic as you do with level 99. The only thing magic level affects is accuracy for the staff, so casting with the staff on defensive allowed me to gain defense and magic levels very quickly and for free for early levels. The crafting, farming, herblore, and smithing XP in the Gauntlet was also a very nice boost to early levels. The biggest boost, however, was the loot. After around 50 magic, I decided to get overhead prayers so I could start actually beating the Gauntlet. I buried bones in Edgeville up to level 20 prayer. Then I used 2 XP lamps from a Varrock museum that required level 20 to use. I received these lamps for having completed the Shield of Arav and for auto-completing Making History when I unlocked Tianwen. This brought me to 34 prayer, then I did the Easy Lumbridge and Varrock Diaries and used those 2 lamps to reach 44 prayer, unlocking overheads. Now I could finally start completing Gauntlet runs, and with drops like Adamant Arrows and Rune Armor, I went from having less than 10k GP to having several 100k and all the arrows I could need. I also spent some time to knock out a low-level Corrupted Gauntlet for fun, which took way more attempts than it should have, but we got it eventually. Aside from our early level Zalcano and Gauntlet, my main focus was then completing tasks to unlock the desert, while also progressing towards the stats and gear I wanted for the Inferno. My initial goal stats were 44 plus prayer, 70 plus range, 70 plus magic, and 40 plus defense. My goal armor was Black Dragonhide, Rune Crossbow, Magic Shortbow, Rune Arrows, Ruby Boltee, Diamond Boltee, Glory Amulet, and Red Chinchompas. My goal supplies were prayer potions and pineapple pizzas. Yeah, no brews, just pineapple pizza. I don't even like pineapple pizza, but sacrifices had to be made, and I worried the grind for brews would take too long. Our ending gear and stats ended up being a little different than planned though. On the second day of leaks, a viewer in my chat mentioned the crystal bow being affected by the quickshot relic, saving 90% of its ammo. Since the assembler doesn't affect the crystal bow, I had assumed the quickshot relic wouldn't affect it either, so this was huge news to me. I ended up running some DPS calcs and found that the crystal bow with quickshot at level 80 range is way better than a rune crossbow at 99 range with rigor and ruby bolts in the main game. Considering how confident I am in doing a rune crossbow Zuck, this made the crystal bow very tempting to skip the 85 fletching grind, and the runate limbs grind as well. I decided to completely ditch getting my fletching up for those two weapons and decided to invest purely on the crystal bow. Before getting the bow, we focused on unlocking our second region choice, the desert, and our fourth relic, Treasure Seeker. Now, while the tier 4 relic choice didn't matter for the Inferno Cape, I do regret choosing the Clue Scroll relic during my post-Inferno grind, as clues aren't needed for my goals, but I do want Slayer points for the rune pouch. And I didn't realize all the Slayer masters assign the same monsters, so I can't use weaker masters to boost points. In the end, this just means several extra hours of grinding, and I get more points for clues anyways, so it's not a big deal. After we'd finished with our questionable decision making, it was time to train some combat. Melee wasn't going to be needed at all, so we just need to train our range and mage. We did our Slayer task with our steel knives to get some quick range levels, and then went to grab an ancient staff so we can burst bandits. Yeah, just gotta equip that staff and we're ready to oh no. Okay, guess we do need to train melee a bit. Completely forgot about that level 50 attack requirement. Yeah. Melee train go. Okay, now we can go back and burst our way to 70 magic and then move on to the next step. Once we finished with that, we did the gauntlet to save up 900k or get a crystal weapon seed. Whatever came first for unlocking our crystal bow. I went dry on my crystal seed drops, so in the end, I just had to pay 900k for a brand new crystal bow. At this point, it was in my mind that if I slept before I did the Inferno, I would wake up and someone else would have been it already. After all, there's a lot of extremely talented and devoted gamers in the community. So despite it being around 1 AM and many things left to do, I decided I had to push for Inferno before I sleep. The first thing we needed to get was Chinchampas. They would help us with the nibblers in certain situations, and if we did need to stack sets and Zuck, it would be good to have. I got like 100 really quick. Something to note here, at this point my internet was having major issues. I couldn't even free tick but Chinchampas reliably, and a lot of the stream footage is pixelated. Normally I wouldn't stream when it's this bad, but with a time limit for the world first Inferno Cape, I just had to keep going. The next was prayer potions. I have no farming patches with my regions, and none of the NPCs I can kill offer an easy way to get Ranars or Snapdragons. Any methods I could think of would take 2 to 3 hours to get enough prayer potions for the Inferno. Initially, I tried Herbivore, hoping to also get the Herbivore levels I need for super restores from the extra herbs. After an hour or so, I earned 2 or 3 Ranars. It was too slow. During this time, DJ was doing an attempt at the Inferno with a mage base setup. It seems Ice Barrage had a massive accuracy boost and would never or almost never miss, even when wearing full rune, making it an unexpectedly strong choice for rushing Inferno. During Zuck, DJ failed to off-tick the minions and died, giving me more time to prepare. At this point, I switched over to killing level 2 men in Edgeville with 1-tick steel knives. They have a 164 drop rate on Ranars, and with how fast I can kill them, this proved to be much faster, although still slow. Eventually, we had a total of 12 Ranars and decided to go with this. We spent half an hour killing tribesmen on Karamja to get Snapgrass, and then made 9 4-dose prayer potions. I went and made some pineapple pizzas as well to be my food for the Inferno, and made 1 super restore with the 1 Snapdragon we had. I had just about all I needed, so I figured let's at least get the fight caves done. DJ's Inferno attempt has us in a very big rush now. But this is when things turned rough. With only 9 prayer pots and 1 super restore, I could not afford to spend a single dose on the fight caves. The issue, however, was my internet. I could not pray flick at all. I've been having internet issues for a while, and at the moment it was so bad that prayer flicking reliably was impossible. I tried for a while, but in the end decided to end stream and do a fight caves off stream, hoping the lag would be better without the stream taking up bandwidth. However, even off stream it was still too bad to continue. At this point, it's almost 7 AM, I've yet to sleep, and now I'm just sitting around, checking my internet speeds over and over, hoping for it to improve, while simultaneously debating whether I give up, even if it improves. At this point I need to finish the fight caves, finish final gearing for Inferno, and then spend most likely 3 or so hours doing a low level Inferno Cape, something challenging to endure even when fully rested and focused. I was feeling pretty down at this point. So much effort put in, and such an opportunity potentially missed because of my ISP issues continuing. However, I held on, and after an hour, at around 8 AM, the internet finally improved. So much so that I could even stream as well. I went back in and finished the fight caves, tanking the Jad hit for the task, and without spending a single dose of prayer potion. Next was the final gearing. We still needed runes for the Inferno. I did some gauntlet and alched my only rune armor, saving only the helm for the Inferno. I just couldn't wait any longer. Now, something lucky that happened to me. After finishing the last gauntlet kill, I happened to find a crystal impling while running to the bank. I hadn't caught one before, and realized I got the 100 level to catch one while I was doing herbivore. I was not expecting what I got from it. Over 100 baby dragon bones. This was enough to gain 2 prayer levels and be able to gain an extra prayer point per prayer potion dose, giving me nearly 41 extra prayer points for the Inferno. That's about 2 extra doses of prayer potion, a very nice boost. There was also a secondary surprise that I didn't even notice until I saw chat pointed out. I got a crystal signet. You can see how surprised I am when I finally realize. An easy 250 point task, and I can save my charges on my bow. So, a nice little reward to get. Back to the main plot now. I was still running around in green dragonhide, in need of an upgrade. I tried my luck by doing a few kills at the deranged archaeologist for a black dragonhide body. It's about a 1 in 20 drop rate, but no luck. I decided there's no time to go for black dragonhide, and moved on to train my crafting up to 77 quickly with some spare resources in my bank, so I could craft red dragonhide. I killed some red dragons on Karamja, but heard that DJ was doing another attempt at the Inferno, so I cut the trip short with enough hides for the body and legs. Skipping the vamp races, I went to Alcarid to quickly craft my new armor and head over to the Inferno to gear up and go in. Now the true race had begun. Unfortunately, I was the tortoise in this race. DJ's 100% accuracy ice barrage was not something I could outspeed, and with prayer potions being so limited, I had to be extra careful to conserve prayer, making me go even slower. This time I couldn't watch DJ's run. All I could do was focus on my own. Looking back at the gold armor we had decided on earlier, we've downgraded the glory to a power amulet, and the black dragonhide to red dragonhide. We've swapped out the magic shortbow and the rune crossbow for a crystal bow, and red chins have stayed the same. Our supplies are full of pizza and prayer potions as we wanted, and our stats surpassed our goal stats by far, with 54 defense, 57 prayer, 72 magic, and a massive 85 range level. We are finally ready to go in. Going into Inferno, I had been up for nearly 24 hours at this point, and we still had a long road ahead of us. For any of you who have been up for 24 hours straight before, you know what it feels like. And on top of that, our internet could mess with us at any moment, but we just had to push on, one wave at a time. Now, before we really get into the waves, I figure I should talk about my tile markers. My Inferno is basically a disco party, so I really should explain. For normal Inferno runs, I only actually use a few of these tiles. Most of these tile markers are to help me with special strategies for extremely low level Inferno. You'll even see me changing the Zook tile markers, as those tiles I had marked were for Scuffed Shield. Scuffing the shield is useful for rune crossbow Zooks, as it allows you to attack more often on the edges, but it's not useful for weapons with a longer attack range. There's also a few tile markers that I don't even know what they're for, but they might be useful one day. Who knows? So I'll just leave them there, just to be safe. They're not hurting anybody, except maybe a few people watching, but that's okay. One last thing, prayer conservation will be very important in this run. Someone with 99 prayer would get 50% more prayer points per prayer potion. Plus, I have very low prayer bonus with this gear. I need to prioritize saving prayer points, however I also have limited runes and low mage bonus. So I need to prioritize avoiding damage, as healing with ancients will drain runes quick. And lastly, I only have ice burst for killing the nibblers, so I need to prioritize protecting the pillars. Sometimes one of these things needs to be sacrificed to focus on the other. Completing the Inferno will be a careful balancing act between these three. With that said, let's bring on the waves. During this wave, the sleep deprivation begins to take its toll on me. I can't think quick enough to solve situations I could normally solve. In this case, I just needed to go one tile further south and the snake wouldn't reach me. Well, I simply panicked and did a lap around the Inferno as if I was desperate for some agility XP. Imagine if the game gave you 1 agility XP for a lap of shame though. That would be funny. It's at this point we find out that DJ has died on his Inferno attempt. I both feel bad that he died, since I like DJ, but at the same time relieved that I still have a chance to go for the world first completion. In the end, it's just some friendly competition. The sleep deprivation cost us even more on this wave. We had a worst case scenario full north spawn, so running south couldn't be helped. However, once we're in position after killing the snake, we just stand around, unable to set up a 2-tick flick with the blobs and the mage. It's something we set up all the time, but our brain was just struggling too much to do it quickly. At this point, I was really getting worried the sleep deprivation was going to be too much for us to finish the Inferno. Nothing too special about this wave, but we received a massive raid from Bodhi, really adding on the pressure, but also the excitement of a much bigger audience watching my every move, and that probably gave me some energy to keep me awake as well and more focused. So, big thank you to Bodhi. Now we're really getting down to business with these last few waves. This wave in particular snagged with me in a rough spot when it digs, but I come up with a very elegant solution. I'll let you all focus on the wave and see for yourself. Okay, so maybe not the most elegant solution, but we all gotta run south sometimes, you know? On this wave, I tried my best to get to South Pillar and save it, but in the end, I just couldn't forge a safe path through in time, and risking it before there was a clear path was not worth it. With my last pillar almost dead, I decide to scout this wave. Scouting an Inferno lets you see what the spawn will be, but if a mage or ranger spawns close enough, they can attack the same tick you log out, causing you to be in combat as the game is trying to log you out. This leads to a fake log, where the game thinks you've logged out, so NPCs stop attacking you, but it doesn't take you to the login screen until 10 seconds pass and you're out of combat. This means the nibblers will get 10 seconds to absolutely chomp on your pillar. This makes scouting very risky if pillars are low HP. In this case, I decide to risk it as our pillar might die anyways, and having it die unexpectedly would be worse. Of course, we get hit and lose our pillar. We now have to do wave 64 without any pillars. The spawn isn't the best, but after some thinking, we come up with a solution. Hate to see it, the internet struggles are back. The stream actually completely disconnected before this wave began, and I had to restart the stream. At this point, I'm terrified of a missed flick due to lag, so I start to lose prayer points in playing it safe with my prayer flicking. In case you can't tell what's happening with all the pixels, I'll let you guys know what's going on. I'm basically attacking the mage pixelated blob, while the two range pixelated blobs are being censored for reviews. So, oh, and the quality's back up. Nice. Now, normally Wave 66 wouldn't be worth showing, but my chat seemed to really enjoy Wave 66, so I will show you Wave 66 with chat included, as well as some fitting music. Just kill it. I'm too scared to pray flick with this lag. Okay, so all follows again, everyone. Come on, internet, just hold out for 20 more minutes. Hold out for 20 more minutes. What? What are you guys seeing? I'm confused. I can only imagine what the stream looks like right now. Normally, I wouldn't be worried about Jad, but with my internet how it is, I can't trust my prayer flicks to be tick perfect. So I have to play it very safe with how long I keep my prayer up, costing me extra prayer points. With triple Jads, my fear of dying is now at my highest while dealing with this internet. We just had to pray that the internet held on long enough for us to make it. It's finally time. We've been awake for close to 26 hours. We spent nearly 40 hours in a game mode that only came out about 2 days and 6 hours ago. We've made through all the waves, with some very close calls. We've pushed on despite our internet issues trying to take us down, and now it all comes down to this one boss fight. The first set is coming up here, and we tag the major easy enough. Although we do completely forget to start the timer, which gives us some trouble later on. Then we tag the ranger perfectly, making it 2 ticks off ticked from the mage. Once we kill the ranger, we prioritize killing the mage to save prayer. The mage dies quick against the crystal bow, and we have a long ways to go until we get Zook below 600 HP, which will pause the timer for Zook spawning more mage and ranger sets. Now, we can just focus on getting to that 600 HP threshold. Once Zuck goes below 480 HP, Jad spawns. Normally, I wouldn't be worried, but with my internet issues, I'm in constant fear of lag spikes, so I really want to finish Jad quick. I do my best here to flick melee prayer between Jad hits to avoid taking too much damage from the healers, while also being very careful not to misclick and run ahead of a shield. Between my internet and sleep deprivation, I need to be very careful not to get too fancy with my clicks and mess up. When Zuck reaches 240 HP, he will spawn the healers. This is when forgetting to start the timer really puts me in a rough spot. I don't know when the next major and ranger set will spawn, so I decide to play it safe and wait it out. It does increase the chance of getting another set before killing Zuck, but I have enough prayer left, and if a set spawns while I'm doing healers, that could be the end of us. The set spawns here. It was probably a good thing we waited to be safe. With only 5 pineapple pizzas left and healers still to go, we really don't want to take any hits here in case we get bad RNG on the healers. We killed the ranger easily enough, and now all that's left is the mage. Now that the mage is dead, healers are coming up next. For this part, I'm gonna let you guys hear the original audio from the stream. Tequila. Let's do the 8 tequila strat. I almost fucked up. Oh my fucking god. Holy shit, we have one more set to deal with probably. Oh my god. Just DPS down, just get it. I don't want to deal with another set, but I might have to. Just do it. 89 HP. I believe. Yes! We we did it! Yes! World first Inferno Cape on Trailblazers, let's go! 500 points, helmet off. Look at that. Easy for Kirby, you were here, chat. Oh, those healers, I was terrified. Dude, I was terrified for good reason. I went down to 9 HP at one point during those healers. It's gotta be one of the scariest healers I've ever had, but I'm glad we somehow survived. Another thing to note, we ended the fight with 19 HP left and 1 dose of Super Restore. If we had even 1 less prayer potion or 1 less pineapple pizza, we would not have had enough supplies to finish the fight. It's crazy how accurate our initial supply ratio was for what we needed. Afterwards, we went to Lumbridge for a little after party, and you can see just how quickly the area just fills up with people once I show the world. I'd see Wooks and Exact have their little post-PBM parties in the past with a massive crowd, and to have one myself really was just insane. Also, Mod Husky and Mod Curse messaged me in-game to congratulate me. Having a JMod grats message is another crazy first for me. Also, you'll have to forgive me for being up for 26 hours, as my response was the most unfazed and not a big deal sign response ever. Watching it back makes me laugh my ass off. That's all sleep deprived me could think to say. Mod Husky just DM'd you? Wait, how? Like on Twitter? Oh! Wait. TY. I'm blind. Oh my gosh, I've never been tweeted by JMod before, holy. Oh my gosh, chat. Oh, mock curse. Yo, thank you, mock curse as well. Here we go. There was also some JMod shenanigans transforming into Chad and a drop party of party hats and Halloween masks. Random Yad and Lumbee. Oh shit. Yo, this is the only way to get these items. This is your only chance to get these in Trailblazers. Oh, there we go, get the Fashion Scape. Get some. Red Halloween. That's gonna go for Cape. Yad, what are you doing here? Red Halloween mask. Here we go, boys. Now we're set. That's what we needed. Oh, I have a wrong cape on. Another thing, big shout out to Bodhi and Foe for sending so many viewers to my stream during the Inferno, and making that day even more special, as well as thanks to any other people shouting me out, as well as thanks to the community for all the support they showed, and a thanks to the JMods for making Trailblazers, as well as taking the time to thank me in-game and do their JMod shenanigans. This couldn't have been as amazing as it was without everybody. This is definitely my greatest PVM achievement, and certainly the hardest I ever worked for one. I hope to one day beat it, but we've set the bar extremely high with this one. I do have plans in my future for after Trailblazers to do low level Inferno and solo top on a wind defense pier, as well as various speedrunning challenges and whatever else we might get an idea for. So if you want to see more, you can follow me on Twitch where I stream most days. There's also a Discord and a Twitter, and obviously this YouTube account. I'll link these all below in the description. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. See you all next time. And remember, don't forget your pineapple pizza next time you do Inferno.